Hey everybody, this time without the shorts. I've got some pants on now. How's everybody going out there tonight? It's Friday night. It's lockdown. I just saw a post coming up on Facebook a few seconds ago that said shit just got real, so I wasn't sure if that actually meant, but I would be interested to hear what that was about. Just wanted to log on for a little bit and say hello to everybody and see how everybody is on a Friday night. I'm currently watching the CNN coverage of Trump's press conference here, and I'm kind of miffed by some of the stuff he's talking about. This guy is like a doctor, he's a surgeon, he's absolutely everything. This guy, Donald Trump, is just an incredible guy. I'm just watching this here. So, hey Roy, hey Claudio. Roy, you might even be watching this as well. But yeah, this guy's like a real weird, it's Colton, yeah. Can just decline it? Okay, so this guy's like just a really weird, hang on a second, the video's just frozen because the phone's ringing, so just 1 second, I'll be back in there, and the phone keeps ringing, and I don't know what's going on. Okay, there we go, the call is gone. So yeah, just watching the Trump fiasco, let's call it a fiasco. All right, Rob in Moscow, Roy in North Carolina, Claudio here in Italy, Andrew in Belfast, hello. By the way, Friday night guys, I'm having a little glass of wine here, and Doe, how are you? Cheers to everybody out there in the coronavirus land, or whatever we want to call it. I'm watching Trump and his cronies addressing the nation here in the US and answering questions. And really, I've got to say that this guy, how in God's name he ever got voted to become president, with some of his answers and the way he treats the press and media, relevant press and media. Hey Danny out in California. Danny, I saw your photograph there from Studio City this morning. And wow, unbelievable. But here I am watching, hey Karen McCordy, how are you? Sorry that you didn't make Venice for your 50th, but I'm sure you had a good night anyway. So for all the Americans out there, I'm currently watching the Trump, the White House press conference, and Trump is not currently considering a nationwide lockdown. Hey Millie in Santa Margarita, how are you? Hey Angela up the hill. And Trump has been asked some serious, great questions by the press and media about related back to the American people, but Trump refuses to physically answer these questions. He doesn't, come on, answer the questions properly and correctly on behalf of the American people. All this guy is about is himself. He's just about himself. He doesn't give a shit about the people. It's ridiculous. So just reading there from Anne, and I think that's maybe what Rachel had commented on earlier. She said shit just got real. All pubs, clubs, eateries and gyms have to close tonight. Wow, is that 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and that's it, they're shut? Dorothy's doing some ironing. Now, Doe, apparently, part of this coronavirus, one of the new rules is that women are not allowed to iron. Men only have to iron at the house, and apparently that's going to be a new law globally, that only men have to iron clothes. And Martin in Scotland, how are you, mate? Hope you're well, and thanks for stopping by. Just up there in the other side of Bassano. We're in a lockdown situation here. We've seen the virus spread erratically, and we're waiting. It's funny, each night at 7 o'clock we are waiting for the new figures of the mortality rate. It's crazy sitting here thinking about that. That's what we're waiting for. And watching Trump here, and he hasn't got a clue what he's talking about. This guy, he's just like an absolute numpty. He's a dick. He just, how in God's name this man can be considered smart enough to, be a president to a nation such as America. It just defies logic. It really defies logic. And I challenge him to a one-on-one conversation with me here in this environment. I challenge him to an interview, a one-on-one conversation, discussion about the reality of life and how tremendous he believes he is and how good he is. Barry, how are you, mate? Hope you're well. Monty, hey. Gabriele. He's worse than a goat, man. He's just I don't know if anybody else has cable or Sky. Please do log into their news channels. You may be able to watch this, and unfortunately you may have missed some of the early parts, but I'm sure you'll see it on the news reviews. Hey Tracy, how are you? But the guy's an absolute dick. The guy's a dick. And you know, if you consider the things that Trump was saying a matter of weeks ago, was saying that, you know, it'll be over in 3 days. Hey Kevin, how are you, mate? Good to see you. You know, yeah, this virus will be over in 3 days. It's a democratic hoax. And you know, he's continually backpedaled and backpedaled. And some of these questions that he's been asked by the press and media, he's you know, fobbing them off. He's calling the press and media con artists, fake people, that they're not reporting correctly. They should go and get real jobs. They're asking you questions, buddy. Answer the questions. Be honest and be affirmative with these people and talk to them. But put the American people first. Stop putting yourself first over the American people. Stop it, you know. And that's all he's doing. That's really annoying when you watch someone like Trump do this. You know, it's crazy. Anyway, what else is happening, folks? What's going on out there is so the UK as a whole is going into lockdown tonight. Is that correct, or is it just the pubs, bars, and gyms, and everything that are closing? Yeah, what's happening, folks? You know, we're waiting on our mortality rates here in Italy to come in and to see where it's at, and if we've moved forward or moved backwards. Hey Maggie, how are you? Yeah, it's you know, we wait with bated breath every day. You know, again, some of the stuff I was talking about earlier. I was saying, you know, it's very difficult. You know, when we see things. You know, this whole panic syndrome that's creeping in, and that's not helping the virus in any way. You know, we're adding to the virus by panicking about so much stuff. You know. Hey Paul, how are you? So yeah, I hope everybody can we can try and, you know, calm the panic and these all reposting and posting panic statements and panic things, and really, if we just took a step back, supported the services of the things that are closing down, and actually got on board with it, everything could blow over a lot quicker than it's taken to blow over. But people are still going out, spring break, out in the pubs, out in the parties. You know, I want to go out, but I can't. Danny, how are you, mate? Hope you're well. Danny, are you in Wichita or are you in Texas? I'm not sure, but mate, I hope you're well, and you're doing a lot of good things there, Daniel. Good, Danny, good man. You're all right. Robbie, did you get a plane? Did you get a flight? When is it leaving Spain? Or was it due to leave Spain, or what news? It's Friday night, folks, and I think it's important to be having a glass of wine and watching all this whole thing unfold around the world. It's just incredible what's going on. And it's very unfortunate that it's happening. It's very sad that it's happening. And as Rob Barry says, rock and roll, you know, that's what it is. Rock and roll. Yeah, you know, it's an incredible time, you know, for all of us, and you know, we still see people posting about impulse purchasing and all this panic buying and people just stocking up. And hey, Anna Marie, how are you? Got a plane, hope it leaves. Well, Rob, we all do. We hope you get home as well. There's people screaming outside on the street. Don't know what's going on. When Italian women talk, Jesus, you know. So you're allowed to walk your dog, so people are out walking their dogs, you know. But this whole panic syndrome, it's just got to stop. You know, we've got to calm down and try to relax and try to understand. And whilst I know people are losing jobs, and I know that things are grinding to a halt, you know, hopefully we can get through this with as little adversity. Or as little as negative adversity as possible. You know, we need to try and get through this, and it's you know, we need to support each other and help each other and definitely get through this. You know, Trump's still going to this press conference. Mike Pence is at the lectern now, and you know, he's just like, he just needs to have a set of fucking horns on his head, that guy. You know, and you know, It's annoying. So Anne's just posting the government to pay 80%. Let me see there. The government to pay 80% of wages for employees not working not making up to 2,500 a month. Have a glass of Chilean. I'm having a glass of Italian, Anne. Local white. So I am as well. Pinot Grigio. Local Pinot Grigio. And I'm very happy. Thank God, needed it here too. And there's Jody Mick. Jody Mick, this is actually a chroma key, a green screen backdrop. I'm actually in the piazza. It's a green screen. It's not, I'm at home. Dave Lawrence, how are you, mate, in Thailand? Dave, what's happening in Thailand? There's a lot of countries around the world that we haven't seen a lot, what's going on and what's happening. Dave, what's going on in Thailand? Is there much happening there? Is there much, panic or worry or stress about coronavirus? What's happening? And Sloancha, back to you as well. Joe Fleming in Dubai, how are you, Joe? How's things? Joe was just telling me the other day, of course, that she works in events. She's a freelance producer, director, and things have pretty much dried up. And that's one of the side effects of this whole virus thing. That a lot of work is just going to come to a grinding halt. Trump is not. When he walks off, the fat bastard walks off the lectern and slides his little blue door open and walks off, and he just considers himself something special, something different, something better, and there'll be a lot of interesting things coming back here on CNN and reports around the world will but that press conference was an absolute shambles of a press conference for the White House. Rab is saying, lady boys, Charlotte Capone, Charlotte in Toronto. Charlotte, what's happening? The borders are closed. I've just been watching Donald Trump on CNN here with his press conference and his little gimp Mike Pence deliver their stupid, unethical, uneducated presentations to the American people, and they've closed borders and stuff down. So, are you still in Florida? Are you still on spring break? I hope you're not out on spring break. Come on, Charlotte. Now, he's the worst, is being polite. I think that's been nice about him. This past few weeks, watching him derail this coronavirus thing as a Democratic hoax, and the fact that he has not accepted responsibility for any of it is just pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. It's disgusting for a country such as America's ruler to do this to the people, his own people, the people that voted for him. To do this is just unethical. It's disgusting. You're in Florida. Cool. Gary, how are you, mate? You're down in Naples there. So listen, hope you're keeping well and safe. And of course, we've been seeing a lot of the news over here, of course on CNN and all over the press and media. A lot of the spring breakers down there in Florida getting carried away. And it's funny. Thank God he's not saying the Italy virus. When he mentioned this last week, or about 10 days ago, he said the China, he called it a foreign virus, and he called it the Chinese virus. What an absolute dick, to incite racism and bigotry, which we don't need, and he calls it the Chinese virus. I mean, what an asshole! What a fucking asshole! Unbelievable. And then comes out and says, he said earlier this anti-malaria drug was a good drug to use for the coronavirus. Then Dr. Fauci, I can't remember pronounce the name. He comes on board and he says, "Look, it's not. It's this is let's not be overcautious. Let's not be over optimistic here that this is going to be the thing that's going to work." So, but then him and Trump are just like I don't know, those two, between the two of them, idiots. Listen, Charlotte, Charlotte. I'm sure that's next. Yeah, he's an asshole. He is. I'm sorry, but in the very early days, there'll be someone that stands up and says, I thought Trump was originally, when I, as I spend quite a bit of time in the States anyway, I thought Trump was originally going to be a good person for the country. I thought could be someone who can get the economy back and everything. But how wrong was I? I bailed out on that. Now, Dave Lawrence, Diamond Dave, is in Thailand. He lives in Thailand, originally from New Zealand. and he's telling me all bars, clubs, gyms, some restaurants all closed, mate. But from this weekend, nobody can enter Thailand unless they have. Right, it's going to be unless they have. I can't get it open on the screen. Okay, unless they have a medical certificate showing COVID free and certification showing USD 100,000 of health insurance. So the essence shutting the borders. Yeah, they are indeed. And Dave, Dubai's doing a very similar thing from tonight. Well, it's already in place because it's tonight in Dubai. That anybody without a Dubai's residency is not allowed into the country. So don't get on a plane to go to Dubai. You ain't going to get in. Closed off, you know. Yeah, unfortunately, Charlotte, that's what's going to have to happen. The National Guard's going to have to come out and get those kids off the street. That's right. That's what's going to happen. I was watching some interviews. I'm sure, as we all have seen, those guys on social media saying, if I'm going to get coronavirus, I'm going to get it. And really, you know, what an absolute, you know, dick of a thing to do. And all these people are just want to go out and party and get drunk. They've saved up for so long to be able to go and get drunk, and they're just not paying any attention to what the reality of this this whole thing that's going on. So I don't know, but yeah, the National Guard's going to have to get called out to clean them up. Corey, how are you, mate? That was a great chat we had yesterday. Corey's in Los Angeles, everybody out there in Hollywood. And Corey, I'm sure you've just watched the latest Whitehouse briefing or, you know, press conference, and I got to tell you, mate, you know, normally you might say from a 1 to 10, how would you feel about that? That's a -billion. That was one of the worst press conferences I've seen. And how dare that man with the orange skin and the stupid hair, the Boris Johnson lookalike, berate the American people and the press and media that he did. That was absolutely disgusting. What he did.
Just look,
fucking disaster.
Still,
so listen, guys, you know, we talked about, you know, every day everybody in Italy is sitting down around the world. What are the mortality rates today? So I've just got the update, and get the fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, this is this guys.
I'm still on the phone, sweetie.
Well,
so
just want to say to you that Italy has now just gone to over 4,000, and the mortality rates in the last 24 hours are 627. Fuck. So 2 days ago we went to 486. Yesterday was 427, so it dropped about 60-70 people. It's just fucking gone up 200 to 627 or some 638 there. It's like, holy shit. So I'm sorry for my language. It's just crazy. It's just fucking what a disaster this is becoming. Charlotte, yeah, so I was saying, Corey, anyway, I'm sure you just watched the press conference, and what an absolute mess that press conference was. And that guy, you know, to stand up on a podium at the White House and lie to the American people, lie to the 360 million people, and the majority of those that voted for you in the last election, and you're hoping to get their vote this election. You call this democratic hoax. You avoided and you pushed away the responsibility of not taking, you know, letting the American people know soon enough about what was going on, and you stand up there and you do this again. You dish, wow, you know. Anyway, it's Friday and I'm having a glass of wine, so local Braganza wine, which is nice. Hey Lucky, how are you? Joe Fleming, not even residents. Joe lives in Dubai, and she's telling me here that so residents are not even allowed, and it's only the Emiratis. So you could turn up to Dubai as a resident and not be allowed back in again tonight? Wow, that's not great. Dave Lawrence is saying good night. He's over there in Thailand. So Dave, I'm sure it's probably about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning there with you. So anyway, good night Dave, and stay safe out there with all the changes that are going on. Davey Fisher there in Banbridge. Hello mate, how are you? Hope you're well. And Lucky, thank you. I'm your newsletter. Well, I'm happy to keep you in the newsletter and tell people what's going on, you know. Hey Angela, you're back online again. Good to see you there. Yeah, Monty's just saying that the numbers I just read out there a few minutes ago. The numbers are in. 627 people died in Italy today. That's from 7 o'clock, or approximately 7 o'clock last night to 7 o'clock tonight. And largest single day number ever recorded. It's just unbelievable. You know, we were at 4, as I said, last night. Yesterday dropped about 70 people from the day before, and now it's just shot up again, 627. That's just crazy. So Joe, that's interesting about Dubai. I actually had thought that residents were allowed back in, but you're telling me now residents are not allowed back in. So hopefully those people that are traveling or on planes got back into Dubai and got things sorted out. Matteo, how are you, buddy? And we all got to stay safe. You too, Matteo. I know you're not too far away, but from where I am. But please do stay safe. And worrying times, and to see that the mortality rate jumped by a couple of hundred people overnight is just unbelievable. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. So people with resident visa are now not allowed back since yesterday. So only UAE. Wow, this is incredible. This is in Dubai, guys. In Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, people with resident visas are now not allowed back since yesterday. So only UAE nationals. So if you're from or you were living in Dubai and you have left the country to be somewhere else, and you were trying to get back in again, if maybe a lot of expatriates living there, so maybe the wife and kids would have been home in Dubai and the husbands may have been away, or the wives may have been away and the husbands are there with the kids. A lot of people now not getting back in again. The residents are not allowed back in. It's only the Emirati nationals. That's incredible. Wow. It is heading hard. It is indeed. Sandra, hi again. How are you, Sandra? Hope you're well. David in New York. How are you, buddy? I'm sure, again, you've just been watching the president's press conference, the president and Mike Pence, and all the little gimpy people that hang on around him, and you kind of got to wonder, what this guy is on about or doing about, because I would love to have a one-on-one press conference with him. I would love to have a discussion with him, because I watch him basically berate the American people and leave them for dead and just leave them lying out there, and it's just disaster. Monty's just saying that the Lombardy is completely crippled. Yeah, I mean, Lombardy is the region which has got Milan. Lombardy is the region where the virus actually broke, where patient zero was believed to have been. And in a small town just to the west of Milan is the first place that this broke. And the health services in this part of Italy. Hey, Catherine, how are you? Nice, thank you for joining us. The health services in this part of Italy are just crippled. It's a disaster. They've run out of beds. The health services are stretched to the maximum here with the mortality rate and the rate of people catching the virus. It's just, 36,000 people. It's up thousands of people since yesterday. So. It's a disaster. Corey, if you're still online, and Catherine, since you're here, I'd love Catherine and Corey to meet and have a catch up. You're both living in Hollywood. You're both there, very close to each other, and you both get along with each other very, very well. So maybe at some point you guys should meet up and hang out. Because, hey, Sean, how are you, buddy? Hope you're well. And Sean, you're still in Indiana, I'm assuming, from this, and are you guys still at work? Of course, Pence, being the vice president, is from Indiana, and what's happening over there in Indiana is, I just saw that on the CNN that Trump hasn't called a national lockdown as yet, but some states are reacting, like California this morning reacted and is having a soft lockdown, if you like. People are still allowed out to jog, walk, take the dog out, go for a bike ride and do things like that. So yeah, it's interesting to see what happened. But Corey and Catherine, yeah, definitely you guys can connect. There's a little bit of crossover there that's quite possible in terms of what your interest and stuff like that in Hollywood. So yeah, you guys would get along, I think, really, really well. Andy Mowat, how are you, buddy, in London? Andy, what's the latest from London? What's happening there? Obviously, I just saw a post earlier that says that things are closing down, shutting down. It's going to be closures tonight, but what's the latest? What's happening there? And cheers, everybody. It's Friday night. It's a glass of wine night. I'll continually wear my Leeds United hat for the love of Leeds. That's it. So, anybody want to say anything popping up there? What's going on out there? What's happening in the land of Facebook, land of social media? Is that everybody out at the supermarkets buying stuff, or what are we doing to what are we doing for the weekend? I suppose a lot of people are going to stop working, and you know, tonight will be a lot of, you know, I think we'll probably see a lot of close downs, shutdowns over the from tonight, and we'll definitely, you know, it's the weekend, so it's our days off. But I think we'll and to launch it back to you, Lucky. We'll definitely see some major changes come Monday. I think we'll notice really a lot of changes globally from Monday. You know, Catherine, no, it's not too early, because the good thing about opening wine, Catherine, is that always somewhere else in the world it's 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. So the fact that it might be, what are we, 7 o'clock, so or 7, so the fact that it might be 10 o'clock in California, it's 10 o'clock somewhere else in the world, so it's okay to open a bottle of wine. So I'd open a bottle of wine. Pauline Thornton's there. Pauline, are you back in Long Beach, or where are you? Are you traveling somewhere, or back in Long Beach? Where are you? What are you doing? What's going on? And Pauline, look at my hat. That should make you feel a bit homesick. There's only one hat to wear. I have quite a few beanies, but my two favourite beanies are my Leeds beanies, and my Trinity racing team, cycle racing team beanie, which is one of the sponsored by MAP. So yeah, please open bottles of wine wherever you are in the world. It's Friday night. I do think we're going to see a lot of things change over the weekend, and come Monday, it's going to be a really interesting time for all of us. You know. Hey Edward, how are you? Thanks for joining the little online vlog here, and we're just getting some updates from around the world and seeing what everybody's up to and what's going on. Chicken's in the oven, so I'm looking forward to that soon. Hey Jane, how are you down in Oz? And what's going on? I was going to say down in Australia. Jane, shouldn't you be in bed sleeping, because it's time difference? It's a bit maybe it's a bit early. Maybe you're up early. Maybe you're still out drinking wine with Denise Tura. Maybe you're doing that, and a few of those other Melbourneian reprobates. What are you doing? Yeah, this glass is running down quite quickly. It's like a little egg timer, you know. You turn it upside down or turn it the right way up. You pour stuff into it, and then you keep drinking it, and it disappears. And yeah, I'll Emanuele, how are you? You well? How's things? You're obviously in lockdown as well, just like me. So Andy, with pubs and cafes to close from tonight, are they closing? Is it 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock? What's the deal on all of that tonight? Is it locked? Is it closed 9 o'clock and that's it? So they have to shut today, tomorrow, the next day, and that's it. They're done. I know a couple of bars in Belfast had already shut down yesterday in anticipation of this happening. You know, so Jane just had a siesta. She can't sleep. Jane, what time is it there in Melbourne at the moment? It's 7 o'clock, roughly close to 7 o'clock here. What time are we in? Melbourne, Australia? Lucky saying here, people in Belfast still not taking this seriously. We are self-isolating, as is my sister and mum, but kids still calling. I can't. Let me get the end of that there. Message. Kids still calling to my sister's door for my nieces to come out and play. And what is the point of schools closing if parents aren't keeping their sprogs in? Right, really good point. David, how are you, mate? Hope you're well. By the power of Grayskull. And Skeletor will come and save us, David. I think that's going to be the key to this. Jane, it's 4:40 a.m. in Melbourne, and Jane Rosbeck is there with us. So say hello to Jane if anybody wants to say hi, and keep Jane awake for another hour before it's coffee time. Lucky, really, really interesting point. You should say this, because our local mayor, and it's been happening across Italy, but our local mayor shut down all the parks and everything, and the walkways, because the schools were closed, and then all the parents were taking their kids to the park to play on the swings and do things. And she said, look, this is not a school holiday. This is a serious, condition, and we need to, the reason that we've closed the schools is for people to stay home and get rid of this virus. But unfortunately, parents were taking their kids down to the park to play, kick the ball around, and organising meet and greets in the park. So she had to close the parks down. So I think that's something that's obviously has to happen as well, eventually in Northern Ireland, the UK, and other parts. But it's really, it's a really difficult time, with everything, and to see the businesses, not just here but globally, that are going to suffer. Yeah. So Jane is saying that we have a 4 square meter rule indoors, so pubs and restaurants will close here. So yeah, I mean, it's inevitable, this whole thing that's happening, guys. Like, I can't, I was asked today, what should we do? And because we were probably the first European, and probably we were the first westernized country to be hit with this. And don't panic, and don't run out and be panic purchasing and buying all the toilet paper and all the hand sanitizer off the shelf. Take your time. There is enough food, there is enough services and things for everybody. Everybody will be okay, but just don't overdo it. Don't, there's other people alive. Other people have to be considered in this world, so please consider those people. Edward's just saying that they will close all the parks by next week. Yeah, I think, Edward, with the schools closed, and again, it's not about going out and socialising in the parks like they were here, and they had to close the parks down. We've got to take this quite serious. Folks, honest to God, the quicker that we realise that by the isolation and being alone, we'll clear it up quicker, rather than, yeah, okay, great, the kids won't be at school, but I'll go to the park and I'll hang out with Mum X and Mum Y and Mum Z, and we can't do that, we've got to basically unfortunately keep the kids at home and stay at home, Hey, Liz up in Brisbane, how are you? Hope you're well. Liz, your husband's a pilot, and are things affected much? How's he going with work and everything, Look, he's just, I've got to lean forward to post these, because I do these on my phone. I must put the camera up. Very lucky that we have swings and slides in the huge back garden. I'm just Lauren for now, don't feel so lucky. Yeah, it's funny. So we'll refer to you as not so lucky at this time, Lauren. Yeah, we got to keep safe, and that's what's important, guys. Just remember that living the moment here now and watching the mortality rate continually rise. If we don't pay attention and we don't take stock of what we are being told to do, things will get worse. So we need to be very, very careful of that. And no matter what stage your country or your location is in at the moment with this, I've said many times, I hope it doesn't. I hope it, for some reason, I just hope it, fades away. I just hope it disappears and it doesn't happen to the extent that it has here and is in other parts of Europe. I just hope that you can avoid it, but please do take those measures that you're being told to take, because it's just one of those things, it doesn't matter what other people think. It just doesn't matter, it's just one of those things, and we need to be mindful of it. So yeah, it's a very unfortunate circumstance that we all find ourselves in, and as good as we are and decent people as we are, it's the people that we elected into power, or the people that are in power, that are controlling us and governing us. They should hopefully take stock and understand that what they do is, they should be, they're in control of our lives. They're in control of what it is that the towns and cities should be doing and paying attention to. And yeah, we need to be very, we need to hope that they're mindful of our lives. As I said, we've seen today through the press conference, through the CNN press, or I should say, watching it on CNN, but the Whitehouse press conference. Certainly, if I was sitting in America now, I wouldn't be feeling very good or confident about what the White House is telling me. I'll be kind of very, very worried and concerned and upset about it. Jane is just saying her local cafe is doing their coffee cart outside, so you can do a drive past coffee. Yeah, that's interesting. Hey Joni, how are you? Joni, on the up there in the east of the US. Joni's in. Joni, are you in Washington? I keep thinking, are you in Washington? What am I thinking? No, you're in Virginia. Virginia, aren't you in Virginia, remember? Jane Fife, God bless Jane Fife, is now joining us. Hello Jane, hello Pfeiffer, how are you? Jane Fife likes a glass of wine, so Friday night, and I'm hoping you've got your glass of wine already. I've got mine, so I have. Joni, I'll assume the kids are home from school. I'll assume that the supermarkets and places are open, and the bars and cafes, and there's restrictions being put in place. But what's happening in your state at the moment? What's going on there? Because it seems to be that obviously Trump has not called for a lockdown. Having just watched the Whitehouse press conference there, and Trump hasn't called for a lockdown yet. So it's very interesting to what local governors will be doing and saying, and asking for assist from the federal government. So interesting. Right. Well, I need a wine top up, and I think it's could be time for me to zip off and do a little bit more of bits and pieces. But look, I want everybody to stay safe out there. It's the best that can happen, and yeah, you know, I just hope we all get through this. I just actually, funny enough, a few minutes ago, I just heard about a case, a friend there in Northern Ireland. The mother was taken to hospital, so it looks like the mother has coronavirus, and she had breathing difficulty. It looks like that's what she's going to be diagnosed with, and so that may have been given to her from the daughter. So I'm telling you that for the reason that you do need to pay attention to what's going on. You do need to be mindful of all of this thing. And you know, as I tell everybody, I was a skeptic at the start of this 3.5 weeks ago. I was sitting here watching TV with 11 people that were had got this coronavirus, and think, yeah, whatever, 2 weeks it'll be gone, it's a virus. But then you watch the reports that, and all of a sudden it becomes an avalanche. So be careful out there, folks. Take it easy. Do get some masks, do get some hand sanitizer, and do get a little bit of toilet paper. But you know what? There's other people that need it as well. So the supermarkets, the government should be controlling that and making sure people don't go overboard. Stay safe out there, and Friday, cheers everybody. Take care. Catch you later. Bye.